All right, so let's go ahead and get started with single leg. I'm going to move my angles. You know, feel free to tell me to move my angles because in some positions I might be blocking. So just tell me to shift a little bit so you can see it properly. We'll start right here. This should probably be good. So Bella's going to go ahead and she's going to get that single. Boom, she's got the single. So the first thing that I almost automatically do when somebody gets here and I start to feel a little bit threatened is I want to buy myself a little bit of time. So in order to do that, I do the beginnings of a throw called kawatsugake, and it just means leg entanglement. Now that throw was an original throw in original judo that is now illegal because it's been to the knee. But the beginning part of it we can do safely. We're not going to hurt anybody, and it's going to stop her from being able to lift me up. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to grapevine. Can you see that? I wrapped my leg around her. I'm going to grapevine and just kind of get a hook right in front of her thigh. So now when she tries to lift me, she can't lift me. So what it does is it buys me a couple of seconds that I'm not going to get off balance because she can't elevate my leg. So did you see that? You want me to move angles?
That's good.
Okay. All right. So once again, just to grab immediately. It's so easy to kind of, as they pull it in between your legs, for you to just wrap around. It's very, very natural. It's very intuitive too. So grab, boom. So now she starts lifting, gets nothing. Now, the easiest thing to do from this position is to look for a grab right here. And then you're going to release the grapevine. You're going to drop your right shoulder. You're going to go right up the middle, and you're going to do uchimata. So even if those who don't know uchimata, all the hard parts, if there is such a thing, are already done. You're already in the position where you've got the person broke down, you've dropped your shoulder, you're in ideal position. So then from here, all I do is the completion. I pull this into my chest. I raise my heel up, and there's the uchimata. And obviously, just stay right there. So obviously, this positioning is fantastic. So all I have to do is drop my knee here. And I mean, if she tries to roll away, I could take her back. Otherwise, I could just go straight to mount. So let's do that again. Grab, kawatsugake, grab here. I'm going to pull this in. If you don't break her grip, it's not the end of the world, but it's better if I break this, pull this into my chest. So then I release this foot here, go right up the middle. Boom. Just like that. So far, so good?
Yeah, it's good.
Okay, when I first started at Alliance, somebody single-legged, I won't mention any names, somebody single-legged me, and I did that. And I looked at them and I go, why'd you do that? And they go, well, I wanted to see what you were going to do. So that's what I was going to do. Yeah, the uchimata is a very, very, very good transition from a single leg. If somebody is charging, we're going to deal with that with the next technique. If they're really like pushing you backwards and giving you a tremendous amount of force and movement, there's opportunities there. But if you can stop them with the kawatsugake and then do the uchimata, that's great. So now let's say they do the same thing, but they drop to their knee on the outside. Okay, so now she's, yep, there you go. So she dropped to her knee on the outside. She's starting to lift me up. Same thing. So I'm going to grab here like this. Actually, I think we might have even taught this at Alliance. I'm going to go here. If you want to swing back on this leg, you can absolutely do that. It's going to make it a little easier. So I'm going to go from here to here as far as I can, and then just up the middle again. Boom. Okay, same position, but on the knees. So one more time. Same principle applied. She does on the outside. So she's elevating me a little bit. She's really pulling it up. I swing to the outside. Now, you know, Bella's not heavy, but you'd be surprised how easy it is to do even on heavy people. They pop right over. If you grab that outside sleeve, pull it through, it's only going to be easier. All right, any questions on that first one?
I think that's pretty good. If I can pick apart the taking the single leg,
Yep.
Is it easier to take the single leg for her if she puts you back a little bit, right? I think when we do it in Alliance, you basically put your forehead on their chest and kind of drive them back, right? And that helps then unweight the front leg. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So
So go
that would
ahead.
probably benefit her. I like how you, yeah, and then that's great. Yeah, I was just curious on whether that would be the appropriate thing for her to do for the single leg. I like how you grab that arm.
Yeah. This is her first time doing a single leg, so.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Oh, well, she's doing it great. Yeah.
So she's got it now, and I mean, I feel threatened with it. I mean, like I
Yeah.
definitely feel like, you know, she's got me up in the air. So doing that grapevine, actually, I showed this to Schwartz, Jason Schwartz,
Yeah.
one of his videos for like what happens if somebody kind of like just tries to pick you up, just grabs you around the waist. You can do that too, that leg entanglement. I mean, it's really effective at just stopping somebody from just taking you up off the ground.
Yeah, and I think it's pretty quick for you then to do that entanglement because she's going to want to either step back and put you down backwards, or she's going to continue driving forward, right?
Right. Well, if you try to take a step back, so like the only leg that you can take a step back with would be your right, right? Okay. Now, if she was to do that, if she was to take a step, that's interesting because so she has created a very weak plane when she did that. So now all I have to do is control this wrist, release here, step, and then I've got tight toe easily.
Okay.
Easily. I mean, taking a step back with that outside foot, can you? I don't think you can even move your left foot, can you? Let's see. Can you move? Oh, yeah. So now, if she moves her left foot, then we'll just segue straight to the second technique. If she tries to move her left foot, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this foot and I'm going to move it over here, like that. And then I'm going to pull that out. And that's a uchi-gari. So right there. So move your left foot back, or your right foot back. So the right foot back, then that's easy. Then I can break her grip here, step through here, and then I have the takedown. There's nothing. She's completely off balance. And I'll let my kake or my completion is pulling through here like that, and then I'm here. If she tries to move her left foot, okay, so she did. She moved it. And again, you know, she widened herself and created another weak plane. So I'm going to grab here, whatever I can grab there. This time I'm going to take a little baby hop over here, just like that, and then just pull that out. That's a pretty slick uchi-gari from there. Did you guys see that? Is that angle okay?
Yeah, no, that was really good.
Okay. So since we segued to the uchi-gari, you already saw it. There's a couple of different ways you can do it, just like you can do uchi-gari a couple of different ways from here you can as well. You can do that one. So basically what you're doing is you're taking that leg and you're pulling it out. Like you're doing a C, the letter C, but instead of starting from the top when you write it, you're starting from the bottom. So you're doing a C, and then you're pulling that leg away. And I mean, basically you're making them do the splits. So Jimmy Pedro, who is an Olympian, his famous uchi-gari is a little bit different. We may have to move angles on this one, I'm not sure. So she goes in, same. So I start with that kawatsugake. We're kind of doing that on all of them, just to buy myself a little bit of time. She moves or she doesn't move the foot, it doesn't really matter. I get my grab here, I take my little bit of a hop. So now here's where the difference is. When I release my foot, my right foot, what I'm going to do is I am going to kind of wrap around my knee, around her ankle, and drive my right knee to the floor. So I wrapped my leg, I just kind of went straight down her leg, just traveled down her leg, and wrapped my foot on the outside. We're going to do a different angle so you can see it. This is the same throw, this is kind of just a variation of it. Let's go right here. Grabs. All right, so kawatsugake. Then I take my grab on the outside here. Little baby step here. Now here, this releases. and just go straight in. And then I do, my leg is in between her legs, but I mean, it's pretty easy to pass from here. So we'll do one right from this angle here. She grabs, boom, Kawatsugake, and I move your butt just right there. Boom, Kawatsugake. Then I release, and then I drive straight in. What do you think?
Yeah, I think, am I on mute? No, okay. So the difference between the two, I'm thinking about what the opponent would be doing. The first one, if she was really bent forward, that might be a good one for the first one. The second one, if she starts posturing up, then I think maybe the second one would work better. Would you agree, or?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's also going to have to, it's going to be like a lot of judo throws, it's going to be contingent upon the size of your opponent. Mm-hmm. If I was going to pick one, I'm always picking on Rob, but if I was going to pick Rob, I could ask you the question, which one do you think I would do on Rob? So the answer is probably the Jimmy Pedro. You know, Rob's got a pretty strong base. So when he goes, let's say he goes in and grabs. Okay, so I've got the quads. Let's get your butt. I've got the Kawatsugake, so I've got the leg entanglement. But then when I go to move here, it's hard for me to get his leg out, right? He's got a really good base. He's lifting me at the same time. It's hard for me to spread him out.
Yeah.
But it's very easy for me to drive forward. And when I wrap that leg around that outside, you know, do that sometime, because even if somebody is not doing a leg, I mean, this throw you can do without somebody grabbing your leg. But you just kind of enter in. If I was to do that throw without her grabbing my leg, so go ahead and take hold. So I like to get a high grip up here, so I'm going to get a grip up here. But I'm going to kind of enter almost with my hip rather than straight on. So we do what's called a T-step. So I take one step and I bring my other foot back and create letter T. And then it's kind of like a trip hammer. So this comes in, T-step, and then I hook. Now that's just a regular Ouchi, but if I did the Ouchi, you know, Jimmy Pedro style, then it's it's very effective. And when I wrap my leg around, I like start at the thigh. And then I'm sliding down her leg like I'm sliding down a fire pole. And then my knee plants. And it's, you gotta go, because I mean, you feel knee pressure almost as if somebody is doing this.
Okay, yeah.
So, I mean, either one, but like with anything, I think it's situational, and definitely size. It has to do with size. I've had a lot of success with that, that Jimmy Pedro with bigger people. And the thing is if it does kind of go all wrong, you can actually pick a single leg yourself from there and get up. Mm. If you drop to your knee and you don't get anything, you can grab the other leg and go to stand back up.
Sure.
You want to see that?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's say she grabs. All right, so Kawatsugake, and then I drive through, and I drive to my knee, but nothing happens. I can go here and pull that up and either throw her or maybe even go back to standing.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Let me use my cheat sheet here. All right, so we did the Uchimata. Oh, okay. All right, so another option here. Goes in, takes the grab, lifts you up. You do the Kawatsugake again. So this time, instead of me grabbing over here with this hand, what I'm going to do, first I want to get a little bit more to the outside. So I'm going to take a little bit of a hop out to here. Okay? Then I'm going to underhanded grab this near leg. I'm going to have to move a little bit here. I'm going to underhanded grab this leg. And then I'm just going to sit. You guys see that?
Yeah, that was good. Simple.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's super simple. Good. So grab, I do my entanglement, and then this one, I'm going to take a step to the outside the best I can. This is going to come underneath, grab. Now, see this outside foot too? If I wanted to be a real jerk, I could do this too. I might even be able to stay standing. You all right? But I can use that to kind of balance myself as well. So she grabs, and I come in here. I go from the Kawatsugake to the outside, then I just sit down. You guys know what to do from there. How's that angle?
That was good.
Okay. Any questions on that one? I mean, that was really simple.
Not on that one, but I actually had a question going back to the Uchimata. Is there any differences you would make if your opponent is taller than you? Like any different kind of adjustments you would make on that? So like if Bella were to do that one to you, well, I guess she actually, I don't know, you guys are about the same height at the hips, it looks like. So it's,
oh yeah.
Yeah. So.
All right. So she grabs. So like, here's the hardest part about like doing Uchimata on somebody taller is, you know, breaking down their posture. But they've already broken it down for me because they're, you know, they're bending over. Now, assuming that they are bending over, have they gotten, you know, height where they've straightened out their back? I mean, at that point, let's say I have the Kawatsugake, so straighten out a little bit more. Yeah. So, I mean, I can still grab here, even if she's adjusted her posture and straightened up, I can still grab here, and I've got this deep back grip. It's just going to be a matter of where I put this leg. You know, I could try to do what's called a magikomi, and I could step to the outside. You know, Uchimata has, the biggest difference between Uchimata with big people and tall people is where they pivot. Like, for years, my instructor was really, really big. I mean, he was over 300 pounds. He's like 6'3". And he did this outside makikomi Uchimata. So what it was he would take a step, and then he'd wind on the outside, come all the way on the outside, and then come up the middle. So that's the way he taught it to us. But the problem was, for a smaller guy, every time I would do that, my opponent would just step around the outside. So I would never be able to get enough momentum and enough, they'd just do that, just step right around. I'd go right up the middle, they'd just basically hop right over. Even if I was able to get the leg off the ground, it's still terribly unsuccessful with it. Up to the point where I was living in Savannah, Georgia, I was doing judo there, and a smaller guy like me, he's like, have you ever tried doing it on the inside? And I'm like, no. He's like, well, okay. So on the inside, hopefully you can see this. Got a little bit of an angle here. So on the inside, I take a step a little bit over to one side to make room for my back foot. And then what I want to do is come in right next to my foot. And then I pivot and I go right up the middle. So all this is happening inside between her legs. Step, drive, turn, then up the middle. Now, look where we are. This is exactly where we were ending up with her doing the single leg. So now she just lets go and goes down and grabs my leg. We're exactly where we were before. So for me, for a smaller person, I'm pretty much already where I need to be. Now, if I was a bigger person, Rob, to answer your question, maybe I might take a hop to the outside and go. Honestly, we should try it because I don't think you'll need to. I think you've got them broke down so much, regardless of the person's size. But then that also takes us to the other options for doing a sacrifice throw. So let's say that Uchimata is an option. She goes down from here, and hopefully this is a good angle for you guys. So what I'm going to do is, let's say I can't step. She's got me pinched really good. I'm not even able to get the Kawatsugake because she's charging me pretty. I mean, she's moving forward and gonna make me fall. I'm gonna fall. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn these lemons into lemonade. Can you see my back foot?
Yeah.
Okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hook her outside leg on the outside. Just like almost like a little butterfly hook. And then if you see me bend my knee, I'm gonna sit down. So I'm gonna try and do this as slow as I can so you can see it. Sit. And then I'm gonna come through. It's hard to do it in slow motion. But basically what I'm doing is if I did it without holding her on the top, and this throw is called Sumagaeshi. So what I'm doing is I'm hooking right here. You see that?
Yeah.
So when I hook and then I sit, then I'm rising this up. I mean, if you know the Tomonagi where you go in the chest and you wheel over, the principles are very similar, but I'm hooking behind the leg. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, since I'm going to pretty much come straight like I'm doing a rear break fall, I'm coming almost straight on my back. I'm going to put her through, and then I'm going to come to mount. So we'll start from this corner. Goes and grabs. Boom. I'm going to pivot so you can see what I do here. Actually, let's do it from this end. Okay, she grabs. There. So I'm going to hook right there. So I'm coming right behind that knee, and then I'm just going to sit down. Probably one of my favorites. Sumagaeshi, which means the corner throw from the single. Probably one of my favorites. And I think that the reason it's one of my favorites and the reason I end up doing it a lot is because nobody's standing there, right? They're trying to move forward. And they're going to give you a tremendous amount of momentum when they're pushing at you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Are those angles, you need to see it at a different angle?
No, that was good for me.
Yeah, initially I couldn't see the hooking of the foot, but you showed it later, so it looks good.
Okay, you got it? All right.
Yep. Okay,
so there's another throw called Tawara Gaeshi. Just like Sumagaeshi, it's a rear sacrifice. The only difference with Tawara Gaeshi, which means rice bag reversal, you're throwing somebody like a bag of rice. So when they go down, instead of doing anything fancy with your legs, you're just going to grab them around the waist, and then you're going to sit down. So she goes, she does her single. Let's say I do the Wasagake or I don't. It doesn't matter because she's charging me. Then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab her right around the midsection. And I'm going right through and I'm grabbing whatever I can grab, my own wrist, gable grip, whatever. It doesn't matter. If you end up with a kind of an over-under, it doesn't really matter. I'm trying to get like right around her midsection, beyond her arms. So boom. She goes. And then I just sit. Now, the difference with this one is now I'm on my back. So it's a bit of a scramble for me to come up. I've got to come up to control. Now, that one's not going to get you into a position to mount position like the other one is going to. That's why I like Sumagaeshi. But sometimes it's your only option. I can't reach, he's moving me back really fast. I can't reach to get an inside hook with my ankle. So I just grab around the waist and I drive in. Now, it's important for you to know that when you do that, I'm never, ever, ever doing this. I'm never sitting away from my heels. I'm always dropping my butt directly to my heels or even kind of swinging my butt in if I can. Because that's what's going to, if I drop to my butt, I'm just going to end up in guard. So she goes, boom. Let's say I try Sumagaeshi or I try whatever. I sit out, boom. That's it. So you just want to go to guard belt. So lift up your head. Yeah. So here I ended up with a butterfly hook on one side, but no throw. Is it the end of the world? No, but you didn't get a takedown, and who knows? Maybe they'll end up getting 2 points for it, depending on where the ref is standing. This is true for any sacrifice throw, like Tomonagi or anyone where you're going straight to your back or even to your side. You really want to try and get your butt as close to your heels as possible. We're doing it at this angle. She goes and grabs. So here I am. See, I'm bending my knee. I'm swinging in. Because if I sit straight out, so when I sit straight out, you just want to lift your head. You don't want to fall. So if I go like this, there. Okay, so now she clears her knees and she gets me in mount. Or I'm in guard. Watch the difference when I swing my butt in. Grab here. So same position. But now I'm going to swing my butt in. I'm going to get my butt in as tight as I possibly can. Did you get all of it on that one? Roughing up my uki. One of the cool things about sacrifice throws is they're really, in jiu-jitsu, they're not quite as much of a sacrifice because you're going down to your element. And you also are creating a lot of momentum. Like you can create plenty of momentum to get to mount with these throws. Any questions on that one? I think I might have one more thing. No, I think that's it. I think that's it. What's our time? Oh, nice. Okay, we got a few more minutes. You guys want to see anything more or any questions on what we did? Otherwise, I'll show a little something else.
I think with that last one, Alex, does it matter really whether your opponent's head is in the center of you or off to the side? Does it work either way?
It absolutely, works either way, except that it's going to be different in the direction that I go.
Okay.
Like if it's on the outside or if her head is on my chest.
Yeah, either way, do you do anything differently?
Yeah, so I want to, if her head is on the outside, I still want to go straight back. If her head is on the inside, I still want to go straight back.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I'm probably going to just kind of position my butt in the direction that I want to go. The direction that I want to go is, basically straight down her midsection, regardless of what side she's on.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So here, boom, here, boom.
Right.
I still want to go, because what we don't want, we definitely don't want to kind of crush their neck and head on our chest. First of all, it's not going to work. Secondly, we might hurt them.
Yeah.
This is anybody who kind of takes a really, like, even if they don't do a single leg, if they kind of are down like this, I would use that to grab the back. Or even if somebody comes in for a double leg, they set themselves up for this beautifully on a double leg. So if she comes in, she's going to grab both my legs on the outside. Put your head on the outside. Yeah, so she goes for the double leg here.
Yeah.
My hand immediately goes to her belt. Then I could do the Tawara Gaishi, I could do the Suma Gaishi, I could do any of those from here. But this is pretty easy. Like, even if I just, like I was going to do like a guillotine, if I just dropped my arm right here like this, and then I sat down, yeah, I could easily do that. We did, I think a couple of weeks ago, we did a throw where somebody took a high grip here like this. Those can be very annoying. So what do you do with something like that, especially with somebody who's kind of breaking down your posture a little bit? So what we did, and this kind of plays off your question, is I'm going to take this and I'm going to go deep back here. So I'm going to go right on the other side of her head. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this hand, I'm going to shoot through here and grab her elbow. You see my hand on her elbow?
Yeah.
Now, it's funny because I have a great position for a sacrifice if I wanted to, but all I'm going to do is walk towards you and watch what happens.
Yeah.
So from that, from that kind of bent over position, I love it. I mean, I love when somebody is bent over in front of me, especially if they're going to close the distance. The hardest thing for me to deal with is if they have, if they won't let me in. Like Joe's a good example, with his wrestling background. He takes this grip here and he just locks this arm out. And, it's really hard for me to deal with because I can't close the gap. I can't get in tight to do any kind of throws. Now, in judo, if you do that, number one, you're going to get a penalty for non-combativity. But number two, you're limiting yourself what you can do offensively as well because of this. Because it's purely a defensive move. But for the most part, you don't get that very much from jiu-jitsu. I mean, usually they're looking for a grab, and their posture is down up here. So I mean, even if you can do something like where you kind of break them down here, and then you go reach for that grab over here, then you're all opened up for all of those throws. All of the sacrifice throws are there, as well as when I just showed you where I reached through and I grabbed here. There's absolutely no need for me to do it, but if I wanted to step through with my left leg and capture that, I mean, I could make it even more.
Sure.
It's not even necessary. So, single leg, double leg, those apply. On the double leg, you're not going to be able to do the leg entanglement. But for the double leg, you're just going to go straight to a sacrifice. I mean, because they're charging you at the same time. Okay. I think that's it. Since I have you and we got a couple more minutes, I'm going to quickly go over what we did. Do you have any more questions on this?
Nope. Okay.
I'm going to quickly just do a refresher on what we did last week, which was the bump break. Tim, you weren't here for that, so you'll get a little extra.
Cool.
Okay, so this is really cool. I like this. We were just talking about somebody being really defensive and having this arm, and you can't. Let's say you can't break their grip. The problem with this break here is, okay, let's say I break it. Well, now I break it, but now I've got to re-grab, and I've got to kind of close the distance again. But what I'm going to do is a little bit different. I'm going to take the outside hand and I'm going to grab either at the sleeve or do a pistol grip. So I'm going to do a pistol grip because I like pistol grips. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a step to the outside. And when I do take a step to the outside, I'm going to take my other hand and I'm going to go inside collar. So I'm inside here. Can you lean? So I have this grip on the inside collar here. So I take a step to the outside, and as I take a step toward her, I'm going to pull her in, and I'm basically going to bump my chest to her chest. And with that bump, I'm going to use it to break the grip. So take an outside step, bump, break. So now I've broken the grip. I've got this inside collar grip, and I can control her shoulders. So if I'm out to the outside here, so now I'm controlling her shoulders. I've got this grip here, and I've got a very weak plane that I could deal with. The low-hanging fruit here is osotogari. So that's the major outer reaping. So from here, all I'm going to do is I'm going to take my body. If this is a 90 degree, you do not want to do osotogari on a 90 degree. You want to do it on a 45. So watch my body. See how I shift? I'm going to shift to go out that way, not directly towards you. So I shift my body to go that way, thread through here. This foot never plants on the ground. It just hooks this leg and all the way through. So that's osotogari 101. The number one counter for osotogari is osotogari. So you could get, if I did try to go on a 90 degree angle, it turns into a gunfight. So basically she's going to start, yeah. So now it's whoever is stronger is going to get this. But as soon as I am able to switch my direction to that 45, then it just switches to a weak plane. Otherwise, it's basically 50-50. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll do the bump break again. So I do the pistol grip. I go for this inside grip. I may not go for the inside grip until I enter, just so I won't spook. So I take the step, inside grip, bump, break, and then switch through Osotogari. Cool. Okay. And there's actually a lot of things that you can do from there. One of Bella's favorites. Here, let's see. Can you? Go ahead and do it from there. Oh, here, let's switch this way.
Yeah, I was like that.
Okay, so she start from over. So she bumps, she breaks.
Wow.
So that's actually Uchimata, the fireman's carry, but that's the modern version of it where you're not grabbing the leg. I'm sorry, Kataguruma. So Kataguruma traditionally is the fireman's carry in judo, but since you can't grab the leg anymore, this is a variation of it. It kind of sucks because both your arms are wrapped up. So like when you take the fall, it's like you can't even slap the mat or anything. You feel like you have zero control because you do have zero control. But the principle on that one, and it looks kind of dramatic, but it's actually pretty simple, is when I do the bump, break. See, I'm now perpendicular with her. All I have to do is switch my body, and I'm going to drop straight to my knees. So from here, when I drop to my knees, I've got this pistol grip here, which is important to have either a grip at the end or the pistol, because I'm going to pull her through. But then I'm just going to drop to my knees and go underneath. And I'm going to put my knee directly under the big toe. I'm running out of ukis.
Oh.
Come on over, Rob.
I'll be there in like 4 hours.
Okay. So, the bump break, you can use a lot of different throws. You can set up with the bump break, or it's just good to get control of the person who's, got this fist grip here and they're just really kind of moving your shoulders around and you just want it to be done with. Go ahead and grab. So let's say this time I'm not going to get a pistol grip. I'm just going to get an outside grip. Step, bump, break. From here, the Ouchigari, I can do the Ouchigari here. I can also step through and do Tayatoshi, which is what we did with the Kawatsugake too, which she took a step back. Because this back foot here, there's a weak plane there. So I can take a step through here and then just, but you don't see it. I mean, when you're in that position, you'll see where the weak planes are. And there may always be opportunities to do like some outside sweeps as well. Okay. Any questions?
I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm good.
Any trouble areas you guys have with standing stuff that you want me to go over? Like problem areas with bigger people, smaller people, things that you've tried to do that you're maybe not as successful as you want to be. Troubleshooting, I guess I'm asking.
I don't standing. I think I'm just too prone to injury, so I tend to avoid it. But I think when I get back, I would like to work on. Are you still going to be teaching just Sunday, or are you going to be adding a second day at all of judo?
Well, with the Sunday is the regular class, but I have a standing offer on Fridays that if anybody wants to come and work on standing on Fridays, that's always been the case.
Like open mat?
Yeah, just, if you just want to do, it's just kind of informal, just standing workshop. Anybody who ever wants to work on standing stuff on Fridays, I'm open for that.
Yeah, that'd be good.
And that's good for people who don't necessarily want to get chief judo rank, but just want to work on their standing stuff.
All right, that's awesome. Thanks so much.
You bet.
Thanks, Alex.
Okay, well, if there's not anything else, I'm going to ray out with my uki. Thank you. All right, thanks, guys. Thanks for coming. We'll upload this to YouTube and Zoom for anybody who wants to go through the lesson. If you have any questions on anything, feel free to let me know. Thanks for coming, guys.
Yeah, thanks, Alex. Many thanks to your daughter. Thanks for, hey, Rob, good to see you, man.
Yeah, good to see you too, Tim. Thanks, Alex. Thanks, Bella.
As always, it's great to see you guys too. Miss you guys.
See ya.